Here we go. First vine. Well, we're making fairly good progress here. We've got the red block planted. It's about 1/3 of what we're putting in this time. So we got marquettes down below and petite pearl up above, and just trying to do some deeper soil amendments. But the soil here is pretty consistent. It's sand, clay, a little bit of clay, so it's going to hold some moisture. It's got gravel of all kinds because it's a glacial moraine in this valley here. And I got to double check what the ledge rock is, because it's kind of like a shaly stone that the ledge is made out of. That kind of stuff. That's a good example of it. It tends to break up over time. So anyways, the numbers are good in the sense that it's not a very vigorous soil. pH is just about right, and so I think we'll be in pretty good shape. The ground cover here, aside from, you can see up above, there's a lot of goldenrod, which we've been mowing back here for a couple of years now, and so there isn't really that much of it. And what we've got is a lot of like fescue grasses and clovers, red and white, and will be, some other wildflowers, black-eyed Susans and daisies, and there's some other low ground covers, but nothing that's really a choker. So I think that this will be a good. There's also some wild strawberries all through this hillside, so I think that we'll be in pretty good shape. Weeds won't be a big pressure problem here, and hopefully our prevailing winds, which come out of the west that way. This is south here, so we get sunshine there and up over the top, and you can just see the sun in the clouds now, and it's probably about 6:30 at this point. So that's it. Back to work. The holes are generally about, where we could, we put the 4-foot auger right into the bottom. A couple of places we hit some stones, so we're only about 2.5 feet deep. But in general, they were all pretty good holes. It was much easier in that sense than we thought, and you can see this is the mountain up behind us to the northeast. It's kind of one of our protection factors in the wintertime, so it keeps the wind down a little bit here, so we don't get any howling north winds, which is kind of nice. And you can see all of that rock up there. That's the kind of stuff that is underlying all of this. Here we are up on the road, looking down. That's out to the west. Killington is out that way. That's the donkey roll spot over there. We rototill that every few weeks because they love it. Otherwise they crave and try to get into the garden, not to eat anything but to roll in the dirt. Currant bushes are down over there. Raspberries are in the mess back there. They really need to be cleaned out. They haven't been tended. And then that ridge drops off about 45 feet down to the Peavine Railroad bed, and then down another 15 feet or so down to the river. We've got a line of these little hazelburt bushes that we planted a couple of years ago as really tiny things, and last year they started to really grow, and so I'm curious to see how they take off this year. That one was a little bit buried, but and I nicked a few when I was doing some work earlier. but they're supposed to get pretty big, and so the idea is to run a hedge of these all the way out along the top here before we put the deer fence in just down below it. Well, I call it the defense because it's not just for deer, for the donkeys too. They loves them some grapevines.